everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're continuing with Simon games as we leave the massive darkness universe for the familiarity of the Cthulhu mythos as we play Cthulhu, Death May Die. And look who decided to visit our video today. My driving buddy from the car Cthulhu decided he wanted to come up and pay a visit. Now, this is actually I believe this was a cross-stitch creation by a local shop in the area that sells out of the game store I go play at. I don't remember the name of the place that creates it off the top of my head, so I won't be able to plug them, but once I figure it out, and it'll probably be tomorrow, I think, before I do, but once I figure it out, I'll pin a comment in the video description in the comments down below with a link to their Etsy store or whatever website they use. So we'll bring him over to the we'll bring our driving buddy over to the board. He can pay a visit over there. So our goal in Death May Die is to disrupt the ritual and then defeat the Ancient One. We can lose in a few different ways depending on where the Ancient One is on the summoning track, and we'll see that when we go up to spend a little bit of time with our Ancient One. If the Ancient One has not woken up yet, we lose when one investigator is defeated, whether by damage or by sanity. But if the Ancient One has, we lose when everyone is defeated, or the scenario might have special conditions. I don't think this one does, but we'll see that all when we go up to set the scene for the scenario. We also lose if the Ancient One is awake and gets to the end of the summoning track. With that, let's go ahead and set the scene for today's scenario. The scenario we're playing through today is the Tomes of Horror scenario. So this is Season 1, Episode 2. The backstory for this one: the catacombs under the Wallace estate are said to be cursed. Old Horace Wallace had a bad reputation of trafficking with vile forces, collecting forbidden tomes, and being a sorcerer. Probably why cultists are doing their thing down there. Cultists never talk, so maybe we'll just kill them and search their bodies for answers. Somehow, that's quicker. Probably is, honestly, especially when cultists don't want to talk. To disrupt the ritual, we need to claim 2 of the 4 tomes. When the Elder One advances, aka the Ancient One, summon a cultist in the nearest space with an unclaimed tome. Special rules: if an investigator dies, their forbidden knowledge tokens are shuffled back into the pile. But of course, if an investigator dies when the Ancient One isn't awakened yet, game will just be over. So that's if an investigator dies after the Ancient One has awakened. Before the ritual is disrupted, when you kill a cultist, knock its figure over instead of removing it. It now represents a cultist body, not an enemy. Once the ritual is disrupted, remove all bodies and use normal rules when killing cultists. So now, as normal, you take the cultist back off the board. You take the cultist off the board. And then our special scenario actions are loot cultist body. When you're in a space with a cultist body, make a roll, which will always be 3 black dice, and we'll detail how these dice actually work when we get into a roll, plus whatever green dice you've gained from advancing along the insanity track. Again, I'll point that out more when we go meet the investigators. So if you get 2 or more successes, remove the body, draw a forbidden knowledge token from the pile, and place it face up on your investigator board. These tokens may be traded, and I believe didn't mean to jar the camera there. I believe it's any number of possessions in one trade action. Let me just double check that, because the quick reference does not specify. Where are you? Attack, trade. May trade any number of items or companions with each other. Okay, so it's any number on one action. Wanted to make sure of that. And we jarred it a little bit awkward. Or claim tome. Discard 2 forbidden knowledge tokens whose symbol matches the tome in your space to claim that tome. Tomes may also be traded. And remember, we just need to claim 2 of them to disrupt the ritual. With that, let's go meet our Ancient One. Our Ancient One that we're playing against, let me see if I can adjust the camera just a little bit slightly so I don't get so much of the floor in shot. There we go. Our Ancient One today we're playing against is Cthulhu. Here's what the Cthulhu mini looks like. We saw our driving buddy earlier, so he'll be up on the summoning track. Once he gets to the red section of the track, he'll actually come out on the board whether or not the ritual has been disrupted, but if the ritual hasn't been disrupted yet, then we can't attack him. We can't attack Cthulhu yet, and we won't be able to until we actually disrupt the ritual. So stage 1 of Cthulhu. When Cthulhu advances, put a relay token on your space. If there's already one there, put it in the nearest space that doesn't have one. Summon a cultist on each relay space. Move the star spawn one space toward you. If it's not on the board, summon it on the blue gate. These are what the relay gates look like, or what the relay space tokens look like, so we'll need to keep an eye on those. And as far as Cthulhu's minions go, we of course have the cultists who have 2 health, roll 2 green dice on attack. These cultists unleash the power of relay. And a star spawn which has 7 health and rolls 3 black dice. When attacking or being attacked while in a relay space, add 2 insanity to the roll. Delightful. Then our episode minions. We have the ghoul, 2 health, 2 green, and black die on attack. If attacked but not destroyed, summon another ghoul in its space. And then the Chthonian, which has 8 health, 1 green, 3 black dice. When attacking, it deals the full wounds to each investigator in its space and adjacent spaces. Oh joy. So we probably need to plan on taking that Chthonian out in one shot. But we'll have to see how the scenario unfolds for that. That is it for the setting the scene for the scenario. Now let's go meet our investigators. Our first investigator on the team today is Tina. She'll be doing everything in red. There's her mini. We'll bring her over to the start space on the board. And her quote over there, I don't go looking for trouble. It finds me without any help. So before we go into the abilities, I'll point out a few of the tracks. Up at the top of the space here is the Insanity. At the top of the investigator board is the Insanity track. And every investigator on the tracks will be laid out exactly the same way. The abilities will be different, but we'll detail those individually. So you can take up to 4 stress to reroll rolls. You can reroll 1 die per stress you spend. If you take 5 wounds, you're defeated. And if that happens before the Ancient One is awake, game over, and we lose. And on the Insanity track, you'll actually advance along this as you get tentacle rolls on the black dice, typically. When you get to one of these thresholds, one of these red marked thresholds, you'll actually stop there, and if you would take excess, so say I was there, and I took a roll of 3 tentacles, I would get to the one, I would take the one to get to the next threshold, and then I'd stop. I wouldn't take the excess 2. Then my disorder will go off, which we'll detail in a minute. Then I would get to level up one of my skills. I think we can read everything here. Yes. Alright, so we'll take a look at Tina's skills next. Each character has a unique ability to them and then 2 of 6 different skill setups. So first up for her unique skill, we've got Femme Fatale. Once per roll, before rolling dice, you may take 1 wound to gain a green die. Instead, gain 2 green dice. Instead, gain 2 green dice or remove 1 die, your choice. Instead of taking 1 wound for your ability, give that wound to any figure in your space. So the way I've always kind of joked about that is, like, Tina starts seducing the cultist, then knees them in the nuts to get the extra dice. So you need to keep that in mind. We've also got Stealth. When you run, you may sneak once. One enemy doesn't follow you. So normally, when you go to try to leave a space with enemies, they would follow you, but this says one of them won't. Instead, when you run, you may sneak 3 times, so 3 enemies wouldn't follow. Deal 1 wound to each enemy you sneak past. Instead, you may sneak any number of times, so you can give everybody the slip at maximum level sneaking, or stealth. Then Brawling. Gain a green die when attacking a target in your space. When you attack, you may target any number of figures in your space, split the wounds as you like. You have 2 free rerolls when attacking a target in your space. When you attack figures in your space, deal the full wounds to each target. And then we need to take a look at Tina's Madness, which goes off whenever she gets to a red threshold. Short-term memory loss. If you're at full stress, heal all of your stress and discard one discovery card of your choice. If you are not at full stress, take one stress. Delightful. So we kind of need, preferably, we don't want to have her with a lot of discovery items, but that will do it for Tina. Now let's go meet our second investigator. Our second investigator is Fatima, who looks to be a witch with a knife, apparently. Admittedly, Old One names are easier to read than say. Yeah, they kind of are. She'll be doing everything in purple. I forgot to mention Tina's doing everything in red, as you probably imagined. For her special abilities, her unique character ability is Read the Omens. You may put the first Mythos card you draw each turn at the bottom of the deck and draw again. If you do, heal 2 stress. So that can actually be very useful, and I'll explain more about why when we get to Fatima's first turn. Instead, draw 2 Mythos cards, choose one to play, and put the other one underneath the deck. Heal 2 stress. Instead, if you choose 2 cards to draw from, heal all of your stress. And you may take 2 wounds to cancel any Mythos card's special effects and enemy summoning. Once again, I'll detail more about how that will work when we see our first Mythos card. Then Arcane Mastery. When making a roll, you may count 1 Elder Sign as a success. So normally, under normal circumstances, the Elder Sign would actually count as a blank in this case. But the Arcane Mastery says you can count 1 Elder Sign as a success. Until you get up to level 2, instead you may count any number of Elder Signs as successes, heal 1 stress for each Elder Sign you count as a success, and you may count any number of Elder Signs as 2 successes each. So you can hopefully take advantage of that. Swiftness. When you run, you may move 1 additional space. So normally you're only able to move 3 spaces when you run. She can move 4. You have 1 free run action each turn. During a run, you may take 1 investigator with you when leaving a space, and you have 1 extra action each turn. So we can probably use Fatima to screw around with the Mythos and get moving quickly, but similar to Tina, we need to be in the space to attack with Fatima. We need to reveal Fatima's madness before we move over to our next investigator. So, Fatima's madness is Catatonia. Lay your figure down. While down, you're safe and can't be attacked. Investigate, move, or take any actions other than rest. You must take 1 stress to stand up. Delightful. So safety is actually important because that's how you're able to determine if you can draw a discovery card or not. That will do it for Fatima. Now let's go meet our third investigator. Our third investigator is the kid, who's going to be doing everything in green, so we'll move her over to the board. Her starting quote is just a maniacal laugh that I'm not going to replicate here. Maybe we will if the game breaks me later, but we'll see about that. As for her special abilities, gate manipulation. If you're in the same space as a gate, monsters and cultists summoned there take wounds equal to half their health, rounded up. This skill works if you're within 1 space of a gate. If you're within 1 space of a gate, you're always considered safe to rest. And if you're within 1 space of a gate, you gain the green die and have 1 free rest action. So if she starts getting banged up, we can move her to the gate if we're leveled up high enough on gate manipulation. Then Marksman, which actually serves as an exception to the rule that you have to be in the same space. So level 1, you can attack a target 1 space away. Gain 2 green dice when attacking a target not in your space. You may attack a target 1 additional space away, 2 total, and you may perform 1 free action against a target not in your space. And we also have Arcane Mastery, but I won't go through that again since we already did with Fatima. As for the kid's madness, we find Hypochondria. Take 1 stress for each wound you have. If you have no wounds, you heal all your stress. Don't count wounds on companions. Great, so we have a kid that's complaining about how sick she is constantly. Fun. With a femme fatale that's got short-term memory loss, probably from a concussion or something, and a pirate, I guess, who's catatonic. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting team, and we haven't even met the last character yet, so let's go meet her next. Our last character is Fleur, who looks like a nurse There's her mini, she'll be doing everything in blue. Her quote, "The Great War saw more action, though it was less horrific." Yep. Her special ability is Combat Medic. When you rest, you may divide the healing among investigators in your space. When you rest, heal an additional 2 stress or health to a total of 5. When you rest, deal 2 wounds to an enemy within 1 space. Instead, deal 2 wounds to all enemies within 1 space. And her other abilities are Marksman and Stealth. Marksman we saw with the kid, and Stealth we saw with Tina, so we won't go through those. As for her Madness, Fleur is masochistic. Each time you take wounds, put the same number of wound tokens on this card. If there are no tokens on this card, take 1 wound. Otherwise, remove all tokens from this card and heal 1 stress per token removed. Oh, well, I suppose a Great War nurse probably likes a little bit of pain, but yeah, that's going to make for an interesting combination. Now we've got a nurse who likes pain. Delightful. Anyway, with that, I think we're all set up there, so let's move over to the board and take our first look at the map. Here's our first look at the map. Right in the middle here is where all of our investigators are starting. We've got the red gate over here with the cultist on it. We've got the blue gate over here with another cultist on it. The Chthonian starts down here with a tome. We've got 2 cultists up here, 1 on our way to another tome, and the yellow gate over here with our last tome over this way. So, I think with that, we're all set to get into this gameplay, so let's drop down to Tina's first turn and see what she's doing. We're just doing a little bit of camera adjusting here. So Tina's going to start by moving 2 spaces. She's going to move 1, 2, grabbing a cultist with her. I only want her to move 2 spaces in this case. Then action 2, she's going to roll. She's going to attack the cultist. So the roll will start off with 3 black dice, plus she gets a green die because of brawling, because she's attacking a target in her space. So the dice are laid out a little bit differently. So on the black die, we've got, I believe that's 1 total blank. That's what we're looking for a success. That gives us an insanity on the track. There's even a roll with both of those. We kind of want to see some insanity, but we don't want to go crazy with it. And then the Elder sign, where unless you have Arcane Mastery, that's a blank. The green die's got the success on it, and the Elder sign, which is also a blank. And then that at least gives us 1 success. So we'll get our first attack roll here. We need 2 successes to take the cultist out. This is Tina's action 2. Alright, that's 2 successes and an insanity, which I can deal with that. So we'll advance Tina on the insanity track. The cultist is defeated, but remember, per the scenario, we don't take the cultist off the board. So for action 3, is this a... I should have another frosted die, I thought. Maybe I think I have them all in hand, actually. Okay, well, at any rate, Tina's going to make a roll against the cultist to try to loot the body. That's 1 success and an insanity, but I'll spend a stress to reroll the Elder sign. Because remember, that's basically a blank. That's another insanity, which I'd like a little bit more. If it had a success with it. Apparently, I'm tongue-tied today. That's an Elder sign. I'll take one more stress because I'll plan on resting with Tina next turn, assuming I'm safe to. Okay, so 1 success, which doesn't let me loot the body, but another insanity. All right, that will do it for Tina. So now we get a Mythos card. So, I guess while I'm going through this, I'm going to explain Fatima a little bit more. So I do get to look at the card before I decide I want to put it on the bottom with Fatima to draw again. So, just to mention that real quick. And then this symbol is something we see that... So that when we get 3 of those symbols, the Ancient One will advance. If the star spawn is on the board, which it's not, each investigator in its space loses 2 sanity. Then it moves 2 spaces toward you, but then we summon the star spawn on blue. So here's what the star spawn looks like. Remember, that thing is incredibly dangerous. So the star spawn is on blue. We have 1 symbol, which I will put the symbols... actually, I'm going to go back up here with that, I think. I'll put that up there so I can see the symbols. I don't want to go too far with the dice tower, though. But since Tina's in a space with no enemies, she is considered safe, so she does get a discovery card. The Cursed Grave. A curved knife is sticking out of this tomb. You may claim the Chris Dagger. If you have the Burial Mask or the Strange Ring, you may discard one of them to claim Horus, the Damned, instead. I'm not going to go through Horus because I don't have the Burial Mask or the Strange Ring, so I'll just claim the Chris Dagger. When you kill a cultist or monster, you may lose 1 sanity to heal 1 wound and 1 stress. Oh my, that could actually be really good. So that's going to go on the right side of Tina's character sheet. Then that will do it for Tina's turn. I'm actually going to help me keep straight who's all gone. I'm going to tip the investigators down as just a reminder that they've gone. And I'm going to need some kind of mark. I'm going to need a different token. I know what I want for that. Hang on. Apologies in advance for hearing the closet door, but I know what token... I know what token I'm looking for Fatima's Catatonia. These brass-backed exhaustion tokens from LCG are so handy. This is probably the 3rd different game I'd say, at least... 3rd or 4th game that I've used these in. All Mythos games, and that's probably not accidental. So as usual, I'll put a link to LCG. There's the closet door closing again, by the way. I'll put a link to LCG in the LCG's Etsy store in the description down below. In fact, I'm just going to make a note of that so I don't forget. Sorry for the delay here. Okay, now that we've got that figured out, now we're over to Fatima's turn. I think her turn is going to look very similar to Tina. So she's going to move in 1. Do I want to take the cultist with me? No, I think we're fine attacking it right here. So action 2. Do I want to put the... I think I can put the dice tower... We'll adjust the camera just a little bit so I can get the dice tower into shot right there. Got the 3 black dice in the cup already. That's what you heard there. Wow. Oh, I forgot we can only count 1 Elder Sign as a success, so I'll spend a stress to reroll 1 of those dice. I'm going to do something similar to with Fatima that I did with Tina. Okay, that's better. So we do defeat the cultist. That was action 2, and then Fatima will also try to loot the body, and we need 2 successes. Here, a result like that 3 Elder Sign, I would be... Actually, I still wouldn't be happy with that, but... That's a result I would be happy with. So, now I'm going to go to the Forbidden Knowledge tokens and give 1 to Fatima, so she will find... That looks like... Okay, that's one of those... That's the upside-down tentacles, it looks like. That tome is actually right up here in the space up there. I've got to run through a cultist to get to it, though. So we can bring that cultist off the board now that we've looted its body. And Fatima's done, so she gets a Mythos card as well. So now with her read the omens, now we could put this on the bottom of the deck and draw again. So let's see what we find. Crawling Chaos. Each cultist moves one space toward you. If you're in a relay space, lose one sanity. Do I want to put this on the bottom or do I want to let this go? I think if I move the cultist one space towards me, that means Fatima's getting attacked. But I would say, does it help the kid? Actually, it might help the kid and Fleur out because one of them can probably wipe out the cultist. So yeah, I think we can let this one go, which is also a symbol. So cultist moves there, this one moves here, this one moves in to make friends with Fatima and the kid, and it is another symbol. We have no relay spaces on the board, so we do need to be careful of putting two symbols out so early. And then we need the dice tower right back in shot, which I'll put there, I think. Then we'll go get 2 green dice, because Fatima, unlike Tina, is getting attacked. Thankfully, it's only one cultist, though. And we can spend stress to reroll if we need to. Which we don't. I will take 2 blanks all day long. So now we can tip Fatima down, because she's done. And we'll move over to the kid, and we've got everybody right here. So the kid, I think, will actually jump on the cultist that just moved into their space thanks to Fatima's Mythos card. We might end up jumping on that star spawn because I want to take that thing out if I can. Okay, there's 2 successes and an insanity, which I can deal with. So the cultist has been defeated. Once again, we tip the body down. Then we'll go ahead and try to loot the body. That's action 2. We have, because of Arcane Mastery with the kid, that does count as a success. She'll take another insanity, though. So we can take the body off the board, and now we get another token. So we'll take this one, and we'll find that is the. Okay, that looks like the. Okay. That looks like a fish with a weird fork at the top, but that tome. I'm going to move the dice tower for a second to show you guys where that. Actually, I've got to zoom out as well. That tome, it might be hard to see, but that tome is actually all the way over here. So we'll need to find another one of those. But we'll zoom right back in because the kid is going to take a shot. We'll tip the camera down. The kid is going to use Marksman to take a shot at the star spawn. Because I want to try to land on that thing like a 1,000-pound bomb before it causes us too many problems. So 3 dice, and we can attack a target up to we can attack a target one space away. So we're basically pretending that the star spawn is right there, where the kid can shoot through the door. Move the dice tower there. 3 successes and an insanity. I will take that if it means cutting the star spawn's health almost in half. And then Fleur can plan on jumping on it next turn. I don't want to go too far with the dice tower, though, because we have to find out what happens in the Mythos phase. So we find another symbol. Everyone with a terrified condition must choose one of these options. Except nobody has a terrified condition right now, so nothing happens there. That will go to end of turn. We'll deal with that in a second. But first, since the kid is safe, she gets a discovery card, so she finds the Mask of the Damned, a mask with a haunting gaze. You may take 3 stress to claim the Burial Mask. If you don't, claim the Ancient Spirit. At the end of each turn, the Ancient Spirit, At the end of each turn of your turns, lose 1 sanity. The ancient mirror spirit may only take a wound if it would kill you. Companion can't be traded for 1 health. Or the burial mask. You may take 1 stress to move 1 enemy from your space to an adjacent space. Do we have 3 stress? Yes, we do. So the kid will take 3 stress and claim the burial mask, which will let her move an enemy from your space to an adjacent for 1 stress. And the kid's done. Fleur's turn is going to start with taking a shot at that start. Actually, before we get into Fleur's turn, we do need to do end of turn. So we'd resolve anything with end of turn on it. We'd roll for fire. We'd check the Mythos discard pile. So there are 3 symbols, which means we advance Cthulhu. When he advances, put a relay token on your space. So we put 1 on the space. Summon a cultist on each relay space, so we get a cultist there again. And move the star spawn 1 space toward you. If it's not there, summon it on the blue gate. And now we've got a party, which is actually going to be problematic because now I was planning to attack the star spawn anyway, but now we have to add 2 insanity to the roll. Question is, do I mind that? And I'm not entirely sure I do, actually. Just because that'll let Fleur fly through her sanity track. So let's see what we can do with that. Fleur will attack the... do we want the star spawn? We're going to fly... I feel like Fleur's going to fly through her sanity track very quickly. So I do need to shuffle the... Mythos deck again. So we'll give that a quick shuffle. I'm doing all the stuff with advancing Cthulhu and all that off camera. Give that a quick shuffle. And a cut. And we'll move that out of the way. So Fleur, that thing is 3 black dice. That's going to be a huge problem. So I think I will try to take out... well, we've already done 3 wounds to it, so I think we will try to go ahead and take out that star spawn. Oop, we had 1 fall out. All right, so that is 2 successes and 4 insanity, because remember, we're in a relay space attacking the star spawn. So that's 1, 2, 3. So she's almost at her first insanity threshold, which we'll probably get to with action 2. I'm going to take a stress to reroll 1 of those insanity. Just because I know I'm already taking... Well, I mostly want to get a couple successes. Plus, I know I'm already taking 2 insanity. Yeah, we might as well. So we'll move there. And then she takes a wound, which could be problematic from her masochism, from her insanity going off. What do I want to level up to? I feel like I kind of want to Gitfo right now, so I think we'll level up. I think we'll level up Stealth right now, and then we'll Gitfo. So for action 3, she's going to move 1, 2, and plan on healing next turn. I level up Stealth, which means she can sneak 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then, of course, that cultist is still a dead body up there. So that's how we were able to sneak 3 times to get out of there. Then Mythos card for Fleur. She draws Rise of the Undead. Take the nearest cultist body and stand it back up. Oh, for crying out loud. If there are no bodies on the board, summon a Gould or at the nearest unclaimed tome instead. Unfortunately, we do have a cultist, which immediately stands up, and Fleur gets attacked because of it. Delightful. That plan kind of blew up in my face a bit, but now I can probably have Tina help out with the cultist. At least try to take it out. So Fleur's getting attacked. Taking 1 wound. Can we deal with that? If I trust Tina to take out that cultist, I think we can. So yeah, so Fleur will take a wound from the attack. Then that's the end of round 1. So let's move back up top and see how the board's changed heading into round 2. This cultist had been defeated, but Tina wasn't able to loot its body, so it ended up standing up and causing Fleur some problems. Nothing we could do there. So Tina's right there. She's going to try to take that cultist out. Fleur is hopefully going to do some resting. We need to help the kid, though, badly, because she's going to get rocked by the cultist and the star spawn and nothing flat. Fortunately, the kid is near an insanity threshold, so even if she takes a mess of insanity from dealing with the star spawn, she actually won't get to her, what's the word I want? Hopefully she won't end up taking too much insanity coming out of that. We might have to bring Fatima down to try to help with this situation, but we'll see how the round unfolds. But let's get back down to the board and see what Tina's doing for round 2. Let me figure out where I want to put the dice tower, because we're going to be spending a lot of time rolling dice this turn. I think that'll work. So Tina will start off with an attack on the cultist. I'm not going to use Femme Fatale here. I'm not going to use Femme Fatale yet. I'll go ahead and just make a regular roll. Oop. We had 1 out, even if I like the result. 2 successes and an insanity, which I'll take the insanity and knock the cultist back over. Then for action 2, we're going to loot the body, and here Tina is going to take a wound because I want to add a green die to the roll. So I have less of a chance of getting surprised again by Rise of the Undead. Four successes and another insanity. So, okay, that's actually... Wait a minute, hang on. I almost forgot about something. So, when I kill a cultist or a monster, I can lose 1 sanity to heal a wound and a stress, which I actually will, even though that's going to cause me to... Actually, no, it's not going to cause me to lose the Chris Dagger, because even if I lose the sanity to do that, Tina's short-term memory loss will go off, and since I'm not at full stress, I can take a stress, and then I get to level something up. I will level up... Let's level up Femme Fatale. So I would have had an extra green die on the roll. Not that it's going to matter, because I'm still going to take the 1 sanity from that. And I will get to loot the cultist body, so that one will come off the board. And then for Tina, we find the eye with eyelashes and a hook in it. That tome is... I'm going to move the dice tower because I think I'm done with it for Tina's turn. That tome is over here, so we'll put that on Tina for now. We're finding a variety of the Forbidden Knowledge tokens, which I don't really like. I'd rather have a pair at this point of the scenario, but I suppose there's no help for that. And then for action 3, Tina will actually rest some of her stress. We'll actually rest her stress back. So we'll heal her. So we'll get her back to. So we'll get her back to no stress. Then a Mythos card for Tina we find. Star Spawn. If the Star Spawn is on the board, each investigator in its space loses 2 sanity. So the kid actually hits her sanity threshold. Take 1 stress for each wound you have. If you have no wounds, heal all of your stress. So the kid actually has no wounds, which means she heals all of her stress. Then it moves 2 spaces toward you, which actually puts it in Tina's space. So that gives the kid some relief, but it'll also be a symbol. Then we'd summon the star spawn on blue, except it's already on the board. I'll do that with symbols. And then Tina's getting attacked by the star spawn. So much for being done with the star spawn. Now it might be Tina and Fleur who need help. We'll have to see what we can do with that. Actually, the kid also gets to level something up. So I think the kid will level up... I either want gate manipulation... Well, the question is I could really make a case for any of these. But... this is a tough one. Because I can really make a case for any of these. Gate manipulation is insanely good because right now she's in the space of a blue gate, and that's where the star spawn is getting summoned. Marksman would let me help out with distant enemies, and Arcane Mastery lets me count any number of Elder Signs as successes. I think I want Marksman because I expect her to be doing a lot of attacking and planning on having the other people pick everything else off. So that brings us back to needing the dice tower back in shot as Tina's getting attacked. Is getting attacked with 3 black dice. Fortunately, we are not in a relay space, so we don't have to worry about adding 2 sanity to the roll. As if taking 2 wounds and a sanity wasn't problematic enough. I think we'll go ahead and take a stress because I want to re-roll the success. I don't mind taking the sanity because that'll let me level up further. Delightful. We'll take another stress. Okay, that I can deal with. So we'll take a wound and a sanity. Tina's heading pretty quickly for another threshold. Anyway, that will do it for Tina. So now we're over to Fatima's turn. We'll adjust the camera slightly. We'll probably still need the dice tower since Fatima's going to try again to defeat this cultist. Is going to try to defeat this cultist this turn. Maybe get us another token. I think we'll tip it like that. That way I can actually see the tower. So we'll start Fatima's turn off with an attack on the cultist. She does have Arcane Mastery. Okay, so we can defeat the cultist, but we'll lose 2 sanity in the process. So 1-2 on her track. Then she'll make a roll to try to loot the cultist. Two sanity, but the cultist is looted. So we'll deal with the... yeah, I think we'll take the 2 sanity. We'll let her level up her catatonia goes off. So she will tip down, and then I'll grab the exhaustion token to put that there, just so I know that she's exhausted, or that she's catatonic. And then what do I want here? I think I want to level up her Arcane Mastery, so any number of Elder Signs count as successes. Alright, but the cultist's body is looted, so she will draw as a Forbidden Knowledge, hopefully giving us a pair somewhere. A pair on the... Is that a pair on the hook, or is that our 4th? That is our 4th unique, so now we're making pairs. Which looks like a 90-degree rotated left C with a fit... I don't even know how to describe it, but that's the Forbidden Knowledge Fatima has, so now she's got 2. She'll have to take a stress to stand back up. Let's see, those action 1 to attack, action 2 to loot. Taking a stress to stand back up. Action 3. What do I want to do for action 3? Do I want to just try to nope her out so I don't get surprise attacked? Or Or do I want to send her to help somebody? Where would she even help right now? Let me bring the dice tower out off the map, at least for the time being. I'm not even sure where she would help right now. Because the star spawn clearing out actually helped the kid immensely. Do I just plan on moving up so I'm somewhat safe and jump on cultists next turn? I think that's a decent plan, so I'll actually move up here. Yeah, I think we'll move up there, because unless there's a second Star Spawn Mythos card in that deck, I don't think anything will move 2 spaces to try to come after her, unless the Chthonian maybe moves directly to her, but we can always shuffle that to the bottom of the deck if we draw it. So let's see what we find here. We find the Sleeper Awakens. If there are 2 or more relay spaces adjacent to each other, at the end of the turn, advance Cthulhu on the track as if there were 3 symbols. I think we can deal with that, and there's no symbol on the... We're not at 3 symbols. There's not one on the card, and there are not 2 or more relay spaces adjacent. I don't mind seeing that early. So, since Fatima's safe, we get a discovery card, so she will find the Unstable Grenade. The pin is half out and needs to be replaced. Carefully replaced. You may take 2 stress to claim the grenade, but if you don't, discard it and take 2 wounds. She has 2 stress, but it's going to put her at full, so I'm going to need to rest next turn. Alright, looking at the grenade, you may discard this card to deal 3 wounds to all figures, either in your space, including you, or an adjacent space. So if we get surprised by the Star Spawn, we can just chuck the grenade at it and get rid of it. So that's it for Fatima. I'll tip her down to indicate that she's gone, and that'll bring us over, as we tip the camera down slightly, to get to the kid. So the kid will start with an attack on the cultist in her space. Bring the dice tower there. And she's actually at no stress right now, so she's all clear. Cultist, let's see, that's 2 sanity, but 3 successes. It's hidden back there, but we do have 3 successes and 2 sanity, which I think I'll take. So cultist apparently wanted a little nighty-night time. Then action 2, we'll make a roll to try to loot the body. We have, let's see, that's 1 success and 1 sanity. I'll take a stress to have her reroll. We'll reroll that blank, see if we can get something at least moderately useful. We'll take another stress to reroll that. That was another blank that came up. And that's 2 successes and a sanity. I can deal with that. That's another sanity, and the cultist is looted. So now we're making a pair. Ideally, I make another pair on that fishbone, but let's see what we find here. We find the upside down tentacle. That needs to get over to... I need to get that to either Fatima or the kid, but that... Let me zoom out. That tome is actually up here. Let's see. Action 1 to attack. I think it was action 1 to attack. Action 2 to loot. Action 3... action 1 was to attack. Action 2 to loot. Action 3... We'll actually move the kid up here. That way I can trade the... I can trade the upside down tentacles on probably Fatima's turn to get over and claim the first tome. So that's it for the kid. Our next card. Sewer gases. Put a fire token in your space, then make a roll. So we put a fire token in the space. This is going to be fun. Then we make a roll. gain a green die if you have the swiftness skill, and she does not. You take 1 wound unless you roll 2 or more successes. Oh, delightful. Right, so she's got to make a roll, which is just 3 black dice. So we need 2 or more successes. Which that's 2 successes but 2 sanity, which would stop her at her threshold. Which will give her a green die on her rolls. She takes 1 stress for each wound she has. She has no wounds, so she heals all of her stress, and then we get to level up again. I will level up her... Let's level up her gate manipulation, because once I get the Forbidden Knowledge token moved over to Fatima, I'm going to send the kid on gate patrol detail. So then that will do it for the kid. They will pick up fire tokens once they leave. There's a way to extinguish fire, isn't there? Actually, there might not be. We might be stuck with that I think we might be stuck with that, so there might just be fire in there that we can't do anything about. I know there's oh! Right, it's an episode action to extinguish fire, which we don't have, so we're just stuck with that fire for the rest of the turn, or the rest of the scenario. Wonderful. Alright, so we'll adjust the camera to move down to Fleur's turn. And she's got a nasty star spawn that needs to be dealt with yesterday. So we'll bring the dice tower into shot, and we'll put that over here. Yep, that'll work. So we need to deal with this star spawn yesterday, which I will roll for that. We only need to do 2 more successes to take it out, though. Which, that looks like 2 successes to me, so that will take the star spawn off the board, which Tina is very happy with as well. And I'm just going to probably heal Fleur and Tina back to full strength. So Fleur will take the first rest herself, and then when she rests, she'll let Tina heal. So Fleur and Tina are both at full strength now. Now we'll leave the dice tower for now. Our Mythos card this time. Astral Promise. Move the nearest cultist to your space and choose 1. Add a relay token to your space if there's already one there. Add it to the nearest space without one, or lose 2 sanity. So the nearest cultist moves... Okay, it's a good thing I'm actually not moving the dice tower, because the nearest cultist is this one, which moves it there. Then we either have to add a relay token or lose 2 sanity. I think we'll take the 2 sanity on that. Alright then, that doesn't have a symbol on it, so I'll put that off to the side for the time being, but the cultist is attacking Fleur. Nothing we can do there. I can deal with 2 blanks on cultist attacks all day long. So that's all done there. Now we can bring the dice tower back out of shot. We'll stand the investigators back up, and then we'll move back up top for the start of round 3. For being a fairly dangerous monster, the Chthonian down here actually isn't really doing all that much, which I don't mind at all. We've got a cultist that just moved to Florentina's space, but Tina's probably going to do something about that. The kid's got the other upside-down squid token, which Fatima's probably going to go get that tome on her next turn. So, after that, we'll have to see how the board unfolds before I can make any plans, but let's move down to Tina and see about dealing with this cultist. First things first, Tina's going to jump on the cultist. I don't think she's going to slit her wrists for an extra 2 dice. I might do that on the loot roll, though. Alright, no wrist slitting needed there. Action 2, she will go through with that plan, including the femme fatale damage for 2 extra dice, because I want to make sure this loot roll works. Okay, that worked, but she does take 2 sanity, which brings her to her next insanity threshold. So we'll take the 2 sanity, which actually, once again I forgot about that. So I will take the stress to heal I will take the sanity to heal wound and a stress. Then the 2 sanity stops her at her threshold. If she's at full stress, okay, if she's not at full stress, take 1, which I can deal with that. And then leveling up her... we'll level up her... Femme Fatale again. Because I feel like being able to deal the wound to the enemy to get the green dice is going to be very helpful. Especially when we're attacking. Let's see, okay, so that's gone and we get to loot another Forbidden Knowledge token. We're making a pair no matter what we draw. Obviously, I prefer to make a pair with the tome Tina's got. Which we do, shockingly enough. So Tina is going to beat feet past the yellow gate, 1, 2, over to this tome, and the next turn she can pick that up. Assuming something doesn't go completely haywire on us. But we need a Mythos card for Tina, so we find... Come on. The thing that should not be. If Cthulhu is on the board, each investigator loses a sanity. Cthulhu is not on the board. If Cthulhu is on the track, each investigator takes 2 stress. Which Tina can take... Hang on, come on. For every stress you can't take 1 wound instead. Fatima is at full stress, so she takes 2 wounds. The kid and Fleur can both take 2 stress. And somehow still no symbol on there. We're only at 1, which I'm not going to complain about. And then Tina's discovery. The Fixer. I hear Mr. Wallace killed his bride in a dark ritual. You may claim either the grave robber or the Browning 1910 pistol. Jimmy the grave robber, while you have him gain 1 level in marksman and take 2 wounds, or he takes 2 wounds to kill, or the Browning 1910. When attacking, gain a green die. If you have the marksman skill, gain 2 green dice instead. Do I want to take the... I think I'm going to take the Browning 1910 with the idea of maybe passing that off to somebody who's got marksman, but Tina's actually doing a fair amount of fighting this turn if this wants to... There we go. Trying to get it to slip in. So yeah, Tina's actually doing a fair amount of fighting this scenario, so I may want to keep that, even though there's a real temptation to pass that off to somebody with marksman, and we've got a couple of investigators on the team with marksman, one of whom is not too far from her, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and reposition the camera so I can get to Fatima's turn. I also need to tip Tina down. We'll say hi to Cthulhu up there. Then action 1 for Fatima will be to move over to the space. She'll pick up a fire token, which she'll have to roll as part of end of round. Or part of... Wait. Okay, hold on. Back up. Action 1, she's actually going to take the upside down squid token from the kid. I'll give the kid the other token in return, the upside down sea looking one. Now she'll move over for action 2, picking up a fire token. And action 3, she'll discard the 2 forbidden knowledge tokens that match the tome to pick it up. So we're going to be disrupting the ritual on Tina's next turn tentatively. And it's just claim 2 of them, right? Yes. Okay. So now that we've got that straight, Mythos card for Fatima's turn. Relay Unleashed with a symbol. Each investigator in a relay space loses 1 sanity. Nobody's in a relay space, but I don't particularly want the symbol. Actually, I don't mind this too much, but just because I need the stress back, I'm going to put this on the bottom of the deck. So I'll put this on the bottom of the deck and draw again. Like I said, mostly because I need the stress. Because I need the stress. Then Fatima. Relay awakens. Each cultist currently on a relay space moves 2 spaces toward you, except there's nobody there. We summon cultists on blue and yellow. Which I don't completely mind that, but doesn't really matter in the grand scheme right now. So Fatima needs the dice tower back in shot. We will zoom your other out, Phoenix. So I believe it's a black die. Yep, black die per fire token and discard. So based on the result, then discard fire tokens from her. Alright, that looks like a blank, so we get to discard the fire token from her. Which action 1 will put on the kid, because she's going to be moving. The only question is where. Let's see. So that's within 1 space of a gate. I could try to start working on that Chthonian, but he hasn't been causing us problems, and he's kind of out of the way anyway. Maybe make getting Tina clear a little easier? That's a temptation. Yeah, I think we'll go with that plan. So we'll reposition the camera slightly so I can get the kid's new destination in shot. So Fatima's tipped down. The kid will move 1, 2. Then we'll bring the dice tower into shot because she's going to marksman to try to take out the cultist that's right there. Let's see. I just want to double check her dice pool. Okay, 2 green for attacking a target not in your space, plus 1 for a sanity threshold. So she's got a total of 6 dice. And still only level 1 arcane mastery. Oop. Wow, that's a lot of successes. Cultists go bye-bye so we can clear that out. And where do I want to move the kid to? I feel like staying close to the blue or yellow gates is probably the best idea this scenario. So I think the kid will just rest. It's either rest or I move her back here to try to put her in range of the blue gate for the star in case the star spawn comes out again. No, I think we'll just rest. Keeping her by the yellow gate will probably work out anyway, so drawing a Mythos card for the kid we find. Crawling Chaos. Each cultist moves 1 space toward you. If you're in a relay space, lose 1 sanity. So the cultist down here by the Chthonian moves. We're not in a relay space, so we don't lose sanity, and then we summon cultists on yellow and red. So cultist on red, which is off shot. The cultist in yellow, however, is going to take a wound because the kid is within a space of the yellow gate. So it gets a wound right away. Right, then we have end of turn. So actually the kid is safe, so she gets to investigate. So we'll draw this discovery card we find. Still warm. The dead policeman. Still warm. Shot once. You may take 2 stress to claim the shotgun. If you do not, claim the terrified condition. Terrified. When you claim this card, shuffle 2 forbidden knowledge tokens you're carrying back into the pile. The shotgun. When attacking, gain 2 green dice if there's more than 1 enemy in your target's space. That needs to get to Tina if I can claim it, and I can. So I think now Tina and the kid will be swapping weapons pretty soon, once I can get the 2 of them together. So the kid will get tipped down. She's got to roll for fire, which means I need the dice tower right back in shot. Okay, let me put that here. So right now we're doing end of turn. kid takes a wound, and the fire token gets discarded. Then we actually advance Cthulhu. So when he advances, summon a cultist in the nearest space with an unclaimed tome, which is going to land on the tome Tina's on, so she's actually kind of trapped right now. Right. Okay, relay token in your space. Summon a cultist on each relay space. That's problematic. And the star spawn actually summons on the blue gate, so my plan is... So I probably should have moved near the blue gate, but hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Grab the Mythos cards, give them a quick shuffle. Alright, so the question now is, do I want to try to daisy chain the shotgun over to its ultimate destination, which is probably going to be Tina? And I can pull the Browning. I can move the Browning then over to somebody else in the aforementioned daisy chain, but we're into Fleur's turn here. She will go ahead and attack the cultist with only her 3 black dice, but I can take stress to reroll if I need to. Yeah, we'll do that. Actually, you know what? I take the shotgun, move one of the cultists follows. I gotta think about this for a minute. So, I take the shotgun from the kid, move the second cultist would follow, then attack and do the trade there? The problem is Tina needs at least one action to pick up that tome. That's the only thing I don't completely like about that plan. I could probably still work with it though. So I think we'll do that. Action 1, I'll trade the shotgun over to Fleur. Then action 2, we'll move. So the second cultist will follow. And then action 3 will attack and we'll target the... Get the 2 green dice, we'll target the new cult. We'll target the healthy cultist, the one that summoned when Cthulhu advanced. Alright, 2 successes and 2 sanity, which I can deal with that. So we'll deal with the insanity before we continue resolving the roll. No tokens on this card to take a wound. Otherwise, remove all tokens, yada yada yada. We'll level up her marksman. And then we'll take the cultist. We'll take this cultist off the board. It's tipped over, but it's not going to be tipped over for much longer. So trade, move, attack. Okay, now that we've got that figured out, I'm going to leave the dice tower in shot because Fleur will be getting attacked at the very least by this cultist. So now we'll draw our Mythos card. We will find... Reality is fraying. Each investigator loses 2 sanity for each tome they're carrying. Investigators not carrying any tomes take 2 stress instead. So everyone except for Fatima will take 2 stress. Tina will be at full stress. The kid will be at full stress. And Fleur will also be at full stress. Yikes. Each investigator... So Fatima then loses 2 sanity for the tome she's carrying. And that's a symbol. So at end of turn, Fleur is getting attacked with 2 green dice. And she's getting domed by whatever the result is here because she's got no stress to re-roll. 1 wound. Not great, but survivable at least. With that, before we move into Tina's next round, I'll tip the investigators back up. And then we'll move back up top to take a look at the map for round 4. We're almost certainly disrupting the ritual this round, but ideally I want to try to have Tina get a little bit of rest before she does. I don't remember if Cthulhu is going to land on her or what's going to happen, but our investigators definitely need to rest though, because they're all stressed out except for Fatima, who took a sanity loss from the carrying the tome. We're probably going to need that grenade as well when we go to summon this, when we go to do this, but I think we can still work with this. So let's move down to the board and see what Tina's doing. Alright, we're going to bring the dice tower into shot. There we are. Tina's going to start off with an attack, so she'll get her 3 black dice, a green for brawling, and a green for the sanity threshold that she's crossed. I don't think anything else. Nope. And we're stuck with whatever result we get here. Which is 2 successes, I will take that. Then Tina will rest back down to... We'll rest 3 stress off. 1, 2, 3. And then she's going to discard her 2 forbidden knowledge tokens to claim the tome, and we have disrupted the ritual. So Cthulhu now is going to... So now we're going to reveal stage 2 of Cthulhu. Alright, so Cthulhu stage 1 has 12 health. Oh, fun. When revealed, summon Cthulhu into your space. Each enemy in a relay space moves 1 space toward you. At the end of each turn, put a relay token in Cthulhu's space. If there's already a token there, put it in the nearest space that doesn't have one. I'm going to do all that, and we'll come back. I'm going to turn the camera off so I can do all that, mostly because I need to change my battery. Giant winged squid thing alert, everyone. Cthulhu's joined the party. A wild Cthulhu appeared. Delightful. Okay, so that was Tina's last action, which I normally don't like leaving her with an enemy, but no help for it in this case. So now we draw a Mythos card. We find... Terror. Everyone with a terrified condition must choose one of the following options. We won't bother with that because we don't have anybody with terrified conditions. That's only relevant because of the symbol. Cthulhu is then attacking. I forgot to mention the attack dice. Cthulhu has 2 green and 2 black dice. And no special effects there. Two successes and a sanity. I think I'll take a stress to reroll the black success, the black die success. That was a blank as well. Actually, we'll just take a stress to reroll that anyway, since I'm not completely sure. I think we can take all of those off the board. I also cleared the board of the cultist bodies. The tomes I don't think are relevant at this point anymore. Okay, so that turned into a blank anyway. So we take a wound and a sanity. Then that will do it for Tina. I'll tip Tina down, and we'll come over to Fatima. Fatima's going to need to land on these cultists. Do I want to pop the grenade just to get rid of them? I'd rather use it on something big like the Star Spawn or the Chthonian, but I might have to. So action 1, I'll move her over. Then I'll toss the grenade into this space so I can take the cultists out. Like I said, I don't like using the grenade just to take out cultists, but I don't really have much of a choice, I don't think, here. Then action 2, What do we want to do for action 2? I don't think we really have an action 2 right now. I think we'll just rest. Rest her stress and down to full. Then we'll rest again. Like I said, she doesn't really have an action 3 right now. Alright, we'll bring the dice tower out of shot, but that's our third card. So we draw a Mythos card. We draw Star Spawn. If the Star Spawn's on the board, each investigator in the space loses 2 sanity, which nobody's there. Then it moves 2 spaces toward you and summon the Star Spawn on blue. The only reason I might shuffle this away is because it's the third symbol and we'd advance Cthulhu again. But I don't think... Do the tomes stay on the board? Remove all bodies and use normal rules. It doesn't say anything about removing the tomes, so maybe the tomes just stay there? That seems weird though, but I guess. So the Star Spawn moves 2 spaces toward us. We weren't in its space, so we don't lose the sanity. Star Spawn would get summoned on blue, but it doesn't happen. So when we advance Cthulhu, which is part of... So going through end of turn, no fire, Mythos discard pile, we have 3 symbols, so the track advances. Then we summon a cultist at the nearest unclaimed tome, which... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 1, 2, 3, 4 is down here with the Chthonian. It's just off shot, but it's down here at the bottom of the board. And we'll shuffle these back in. So the question here is, do we land on... Question here with the kid is, do we land on the Star Spawn, or do we go for the Star Spawn, or do we try to go for Cthulhu? That's a decision. Or is an idea to potentially... There's another idea as well that I could think of with the kid. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there because I still have to finish up the end of turn Ancient One effects. We put a relay token in... we should have put one in Tina's space for Cthulhu for Tina's turn. Then a relay in Cthulhu's space, which the nearest space is down here on 3B. Okay, so now we're done with Fatima. Now we're over to the kid. And now we've got a decision to make with the kid. I'm honestly tempted to rest and then do 2 attacks, which I think is probably the best bet because I want to get some of this stress back. Then the only question is, what do I go after? Let's see. If I go after the cultist, the kid's turn, if I go after the cultist, Fleur's turn could look like trade with Tina. Move, take a shot at Cthulhu. Which, honestly, wouldn't be the worst turn in the world. They'll give us some damage on Cthulhu. I think we'll go with that, actually. So, we'll start by having the kid rest. Actually, the kid... I think I started with the kid resting. That's how I'm going to rule that. Then I think she is going to attack the cultist. So 3 black and 2 green dice. Try to set up Fleur to get out of the space. Does she have Arcane Mastery? She does. So she takes a sanity, but the cultist is taken out. And remember, now that we're at normal rules, we get to defeat the cultist like normal. And then she'll actually turn and shoot at the Star Spawn. So I can start working that down. Wow, that was a whole lot of bubkus. But we get 2 successes out of it, so the star spawn does take 2 damage. I'll leave the dice tower in shot just in case something stupid happens on the Mythos card that the kid draws. So let's find out what happens there. Crawling Chaos. Each cultist moves 1 space toward you. If you're on a relay space, lose 1 sanity, which she is. So cultist moves there. She loses a sanity, which I'm mostly fine with. Then we summon cultists on yellow and red. Red and yellow takes 1 wound because the kid's within 1 space of the gate. And then speaking of the kid, she's safe, so she gets to draw. She draws the muscle. I was running away from a copper. Now I can't find one of my grenades. Be careful. You may claim either the grave robber or the electric torch. Diedrich the Grave Robber, when you have him, gain 1 level in Brawling. Takes 1 health to bite it. When you loot a cultist body, draw 2 forbidden knowledge tokens and keep 1. Shuffle the other back into the discard pile. I'll claim the Grave Robber with the idea of passing him over to Tina. Because being able to level her Brawling up right now would be insanely good, especially if I can start pushing that. But I'm probably going to level Tina's Femme Fatale next. Then over to Fleur's turn we go. She's going to start off by trading with Tina. So I'll give Tina the shotgun and we'll give Fleur the Browning. Then action 2, I'll jump on... for the kid's turn, we needed to place a relay token. So I'll place the relay token out here. Let me move the camera just a little bit so we can see Fleur. She's down here. I started off with a trade. I gave Fleur the Browning and gave Tina the shotgun. Action 2, I kind of don't want to get Fleur blasted by Cthulhu, so I'll have her take a shot at the cultist that's down here that the kid just damaged. 3 black and 3 green because of a sanity threshold and 2 dice from Marksman. That's a bunch of sanity. We can take 2 of that, but cultists, more importantly, go bye-bye. We obliterated the cultist with about 5 successes. Then action 3, she's going to nope out with the plan of starting to pick off Cthulhu from range. Now we need a Mythos card for Fleur. I'm planning on having her rest next turn. I may do the same thing with Tina, but we'll see. The Sleeper awakens. Oh, fantastic. If there are 2 or more relay spaces adjacent to each other, and we have a row of 5 in a row right now, at the end of the turn, advance Cthulhu on the track as if there were 3 symbols. Delightful. So, we are in a safe space, which means Fleur will get a discovery card. So we will find the locket. The heart-shaped locket with the initials HW, the initials HW. Inside, a picture of a man and a woman. You may lose 2 sanity to claim the old locket. If you do not, claim the Terrified condition. We're not going to take the Terrified. The old locket. Discard this card to heal 2 wounds and all of your stress. We have 2 sanity that we can claim it with, which will put her to another sanity threshold. She'll take a wound because of her masochism, but we're planning on having her heal anyway. Let's see, what do we want to do with that? I think we will level up her combat medic because we're going to be doing a lot of healing in a hurry. So with that, that's the end of another round. We'll tip everybody back up, and then we'll move back up top to take a look at the map once I get the dice tower out of shot, going into round 5. Giant squid monster octopus thing alert. Cthulhu has joined the party, and not this Cthulhu either. This Cthulhu's cool. This guy's nasty. He needs to get taken out pronto. Starspawn's got 2 health on him, but we've got a whole mess of relay spaces, so that's going to cause a lot of problems. Cultists can now be defeated like normal. The Chthonian's being surprisingly passive this scenario. I am not going to complain about that, but I just have to make the observation. So, with that, let's move down to Tina and see about doing some damage to Cthulhu. I almost forgot at the end of Fleur's turn, we should have put a relay token in a space that doesn't already have one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll put it on this cultist space. I'm proving very bad at remembering that, but I'm going to be out of relay tokens here shortly. Let's bring the dice tower into shot. Tina is going to attack. She's got a stress to reroll. So just to assemble her dice pool, we get 3 black, green, 2 because of the sanity threshold. I'll take a wound to give her another 2 green because I'm probably going to end up noping out and resting this turn after I do some damage to Cthulhu. So let's see what we do for Cthulhu. That looks like a pretty good roll to me. So 4 successes, which puts 4 wounds on Cthulhu. Then action 2, Tina's going to nope out, and she's going to rest. She's going to rest for 3 stress. As long as Fleur might be doing a lot of resting next turn as well, so we'll try to do a bit of healing there. Leave the dice tower in shot for a second. We need a Mythos card for Tina, we find. A ghoul. Move the nearest ghoul 2 spaces toward you. If you have the terrified condition, move it directly to your space instead. Summon a ghoul on red. This is the first time we've got a ghoul making an appearance this scenario, and it's our first symbol, so we do need to keep an eye on that. But Tina is safe, so we get to draw a discovery card. We find the corpse. A strange ring still on the finger of a corpse in a wedding dress. You may take 3 stress to claim the strange ring. If you don't, claim the angry spirit. The strange ring, when attacking the Chthonian, gain a number of green dice equal to the number of insanity thresholds you've reached, which would be 2, or the angry spirit. At the end of your turn, take 1 wound. The angry spirit may only take wounds if it would kill you. This companion can't be traded. I think we'll take the 3 stress to claim the strange ring. So if we ever get the Chthonian landing on us, Tina will probably be the best suited to take it out. So that will do it for Tina's turn. We'll place another relay token in the nearest space that doesn't have one. 1, 2, 3. I think it goes up to Fatima's space now. Speaking of which, let's tip over to her. And now that the Ancient One's out, by the way, now if we lose by investigator elimination, everyone has to be eliminated. So we'll bring the dice tower into shot because I expect Fatima to be doing some attacking this turn. I think we're going to have to send her down as much as I don't want to try to take out that star spawn. So action 1, she'll move in. And I think no matter where we go, we're pretty much going to end up on a relay space, and she can't get away anyway, but she does have Arcane Mastery. So it's going to be 3 black dice, which would let her count any amount of Elder Signs as successes. So hopefully we can get some good dice like that. Okay, that's 3 successes, but 2 more insanity, which she was already taking 2 anyway, so that puts 3 more wounds on the star spawn. And then the sanity hits her to another threshold, which tips her down. And we get to level something up. We'll level up the Arcane Mastery. She'll take a stress to stand back up for action 3, which will be to try to take out the star spawn. So we need to do 2 wounds to this, but she's taking 2 sanity as it is. Let's see, 1 and 2 sanity. That's going to push her to another insanity threshold. Let me see if I can get at least another success out of that. Because I really want this Star Spawn dead. That I can work. I can work with that. So the Star Spawn is defeated once again. It's off the board. But Fatima will advance to her next insanity threshold. She tips down. So I'll put that there. And then what do I want to level up this time? I'm going to level up her Arcane Mastery this time. Because I forgot she passed Sanity Threshold on both of those. I'm not going to retcon that though, because I ultimately got the result. I'm not going to retcon that though, because there were 2 rolls I would have had to redo. Alright, I am leveling up her Arcane Mastery all the way though, so she can count any number of Elder Signs as 2 successes. And that will do it for Fatima, so now we'll draw a fresh card from the Mythos deck we will find. I'm dropping the card today. Where did you land? Okay, here we are. Coming back up. Let's try this again, shall we? Astral Promise. Move the nearest cultist to your space and choose 1. Add a relay token to your space. If there's already 1 there, add it to the nearest space without 1, or lose 2 sanity. Also, Fatima should have had a fire token. So nearest cultist moves there. And we will be out of relay tokens after this. So I think we will... She's starting to get up there a little bit. I think we'll add a relay token to that space. No symbol on there, so we can put that in that pile. Then she is considered safe because of her catatonia, despite there being a cultist in the space. So Fatima will get a discovery. She will find the spectacles. When you put them on, you can see text that wasn't there. You may take 2 stress to claim the spectacles. If you don't, claim the terrified condition. When you loot a cultist body, draw 2 forbidden knowledge tokens and keep 1. Shuffle the other back into the pile. If you have Arcane Mastery, you may draw 3 and keep 1 instead. We have to claim the terrified, though. Well, we could technically claim the spectacles, but even the terrified isn't really that dangerous, other than interacting with some of the Mythos cards. So we have to roll for fire. The dice tower is still in shot for that. That's a sanity, so she'll advance again. And then we discard the fire token. Alright, then at the end of the turn, we'll actually remember to put a relay token down. This is our last one. That goes in Cthulhu's space, I believe? Yes. There's already one there. Put it on the nearest space that doesn't have one, which I think... 1, 2... 1, 2. We can put it either on the blue or red gate. I think we'll put it on the blue gate. We'll move the camera slightly so we can get to the kid's turn. Alright, we already tipped Fatima down, so we're on the kid's turn now. What to do here? I kind of want to make sure I can get the kid over to the blue gate in case the Star Spawn wants to come back out, so I can put wounds on it right away. Let's see. Unfortunately, she can't sneak, so I'd have to take out this cultist if I want to get there without getting attacked. Wait, we do have a symbol, so we actually have 2 symbols right now. We need to be careful about that. So what do I want to do here with the kid? She's not in too rough a shape. Fleur is definitely hurting, though, but that's for her turn to worry about. I kind of do want to try to pass Diedrich off to Tina if I can, but... because that actually lets me level up Tina's Brawling, which progresses her on her maximum level. Well, I mostly want the 2 free rerolls on Tina's Brawling, but... I think I'd rather play it safe this time because I got burned by not being ready for the star spawn. I believe that still stays active when Cthulhu advances. Yes. Pretty sure that stays active. I don't think we've had Cthulhu advance since... No, I take that back. He has, but I don't think that's been relevant. So I think the plan here is going to be to try to get the kid back down to space 1B. So I'm going to bring the dice tower into shot. We'll put it right here, I think. Then we'll attack the cultist over here. So we get 3 black, a green for a sanity threshold, 2 because I'm attacking a target not in space from marksman. Right. Okay, now that we got that figured out. Alright, cultists go bye-bye. Kid takes 1 sanity, which we can deal with that. Bring the dice tower out of the way. So the kid can move 1, 2. And then she's going to rest, because I really don't have a third action for her right now. She's near a sanity threshold right now, so I do want to keep somewhat of an eye on that. And then the Mythos card for the kid we find. Terror, which is our 3rd symbol. Everyone with a terrified condition, which right now is only Fatima, must choose one of these options. Take 2 stress, and you have to be able to take 2 stress to choose this option, and you can, and she can. Discard a companion or item card, or lose a sanity per terrified condition she has. I think Fatima will take the sanity. That's going to push her up. And then what am I leveling up when I get to that? Probably read the omens for her. And that is our 3rd symbol, so she had no fire. We do have 3 symbols, so we'll be advancing Cthulhu, which means we summon a cultist at each unclaimed tome because of the scenario. Then we summon the star spawn on blue, but it'll take 3 wounds. Rounded. Actually, it'll take 4 wounds because we round up with the stars, because the kid's gate manipulation works within 1 space of a gate, and that was with the blue gate. And we're out of relay tokens to place. We'll reshuffle the Mythos deck up, and then the kid's done. So we'll be into Fleur's turn once I finish shuffling this. Alright, so Mythos deck is shuffled. Fleur's turn, I think, is just resting. So when she rests, she gets to heal up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for action 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Tina. And then resting again to bring Tina back to full strength, since she's probably going to go in and start punching Cthulhu in the I don't even know what you call that, like a tentacly beard or something. Anywho, let's draw a Mythos card for Fleur. The Sleeper Awakens. Again with this, if there are 2 or more relay spaces adjacent to each other, at the end of the turn, advance Cthulhu on the track, yada yada yada. Fun, fun. So, end of turn effects, no fire tokens, Mythos discard pile, except that'll be at the end of the turn. Okay, Elder One summoning. Okay, so we do advance at the end of the turn as if there were 3 symbols in there. So we are just flying through the summoning track. Alright, then advance and summoning everything. Cultists go out. Starspawn, I believe, moves. So I'm going to cultist on each relay space. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. We'll go here, 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 and here. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. So we'll tip everybody up. Except for Fatima, who's got to take a stress to stand back up. Then we'll move back up top to look at the board for round 6. Looking at the track off camera, we need to land on Cthulhu like a 1,000-pound bomb. That Sleeper Awakens really hurt us. We need to get all the attack we can and get our asses over there to go after Cthulhu. We also have all 10 cultists summoned on the board. Again, the Chthonian hasn't been that big of a problem, but the Starspawn is going to be in nothing but relay spaces probably for the rest of the scenario. So, with that, let's move up to Tina and see what we can do about Cthulhu. Alright, Tina's action 1, she's going to step in to Cthulhu's space and look at this thing like, what am I doing here? What she's doing here is action 2, attacking. So 3 black, plus a green for a sanity threshold, plus another green for brawling, plus 2 from Femme Fatale, which will be 2 more green dice. We need all the attack we can get here. Let's see, that is all of 2 successes? Gross. Yeah, I think we just take it though. So that brings Cthulhu up to 6 wounds. And then action 3, Tina's like, nope. Because I don't want to get her attacked again if I can help it. Let's see what the Mythos says though. Astral Promise, move the nearest cultist to you and choose 1. Either add a relay token to your space except we're out, so we'll be losing 2 sanity, which means the cultist will move to Tina, and then we'll be losing 2 sanity. And then Tina's not safe, so she'll get attacked. It's 2 green dice, and we do have stress to reroll if we need to. We can take 1 wound. We can work with that. Alright, so that is it for Tina's turn. We'll move over to the center of the board and Fatima, who will take a stress to stand back up. Actually, can she... Yeah. We'll take a stress to stand up. Remove that. Action 1, she'll rest to go back up to full stress, or back down to no stress. Action 2, she's got 4. Yeah, I think action 2 will move. Where do we want to move her to? We kind of need to take out that cultist. But I do want to land on Cthulhu sooner rather than later. So 1, 2. Then action 3, she'll attack. Which will be 3 black, plus a green for a sanity threshold, and nothing else. That is very much like 4 successes to me. So, Cultist is defeated. Another sanity threshold goes off for her, so she's catatonic once again. And we get to level something up here. We will level up her Read the Omens. We'll leave the dice tower in shot for the time being, but we get to draw 2 cards from the deck now, put one on the bottom and play the other one, and heal 2 stress from that. So first card up is Terror, which I don't think I want Fatima. Well, we'll see what else there is there. I'm mostly worried about the symbol. Fatima can take the stress to choose that option. And Relay Unleashed. This seems a lot less pleasant at this point. Either way, we're getting a symbol out of this, but both Tina and the kid will hit sanity thresholds and level up. Which I can probably work with that, actually. So I'm going to put Terror on the bottom. And then we'll deal with Relay Unleashed, which is our first symbol, and each investigator in a relay space loses 1 sanity, which is... That might as well right now just read, everyone lose 1 sanity. So we'll do this in player order. Fatima advances on her sanity track. She's actually almost insane. The kid hits a sanity threshold, so her hypochondria goes off. She takes 1 stress per wound, but she has no wounds. She heals all of her stress, and then she will level up her Arcane Mastery, I think. Fleur will advance as well. Tina will also hit a sanity threshold, which is actually perfect. Her short-term memory loss goes off. She's not at full stress. So she takes 1, and then she'll level up her Femme Fatale. Which means now instead of taking a wound for her Femme Fatale, she can give that wound to any figure in her space. Which could make attacking Cthulhu a very tempting option. Especially if instead of taking the wound to get the extra dice, we're now dealing that to Cthulhu. So, yeah, that's going to be very welcome. Let's see, and then that was everything for Fatima's turn. Our first symbol, she is safe, so she gets a discovery card. She will draw. I don't know how these came through upside down, but... The old book. Found in old skin, probably leather. You may take 2 stress to claim the Bible, which she can do. If you don't, claim the Terrified condition. Bible, once per turn, if you would lose sanity, you may lose 1 less sanity. I will take 2 stress to claim that. Mostly because I don't want another Terrified condition. So that's that. Fatima's all done. I don't think we had any end of turn effects that we had to worry about. No. We're at 1 symbol of 3 right now, so we're over to the kid's turn next. The kid's got to land on this cultist, so let's see what we can do about that. That looks like her dice pool. I believe it's 3 black, plus a green for a sanity threshold, plus 1 for brawling. That's going to come in handy for now. We're actually down over here in this space now. Where's the lid for this? Here you are. Two sanity, and I think we can count any number of Elder Signs as successes. So we'll take the 2 sanity and get rid of the cultist. Then we'll try to marksman the Starspawn away. So I believe it starts with... Let me just go through my pool here. Whoops. You out. Alright. 3 green dice plus a... 3 black dice plus a green for a sanity threshold, plus 2 more for marksman, and that's it. We're attacking the Starspawn, but we're going to add 2 sanity to the roll, so the kid's actually going to be starting to fray a bit as well. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4... plus the aforementioned sanity. So the Starspawn actually is defeated. We hit a sanity threshold, which the kid is... Okay, still not at full... Still no wounds, so we're not worried about that. And I will level... Let's level up her Arcane Mastery, because I want to try to get to... We're going to try to get to that max Arcane Mastery. We're going to, like I said, we're going to need to land on Cthulhu like a bomb in the next couple of turns. So, action 1 to defeat the cultist. Action 2 to take out the Star Spawn. Action 3... Do I want to move over toward the goal of landing on the cultist or landing on Cthulhu? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I could get her up there. So I could move 1, 2, 3. We're not in danger of advancing yet, but... I have a feeling we're winning this game with like a final ferocious assault on Cthulhu. So I think... Like I said, we're not in danger of advancing. Do I just keep her on guard on the Star Spawn? That wouldn't be a terrible idea, but again, I think we're just running out of time. I think we are going to have to try to land on Cthulhu. 1, 2, 3. So we'll get everybody set up there, and then the Kid's Mythos card. Crawling Chaos. Each cultist moves 1 space toward you. If you're in a relay space and you are, lose a sanity. So we lose a sanity. Each cultist moves 1 space toward me. So 1, there, there. And they move there, there, and there. I already lost the Kid's sanity. Summon cultist on red and yellow. Red and yellow. The one coming in takes a sanity, or takes a wound, because the Kid is there. And we don't have her gate manipulation leveled up enough, so the Kid is getting attacked. Okay, so we'll get the dice for that. The Kid can take 1 wound. I think we're fine with that. That will do it for the Kid. Fleur's turn. She's going to attack the cultist who just landed in the space for action 1. So we start off with 3 black, a green for a sanity threshold, and 2 more green because we have a Browning 1910. Cultist is very much obliterated. And then since we're at full strength, we just try to work on Cthulhu, I think? I think we do, actually. So we'll do a marksman attack as well. So 3 black. Green for a sanity threshold. 2 green for marksman. 2 green for having marksman with the Browning. So that's a total of... That should be a total of, I believe that's 3 black and 5 green dice. Unfortunately, we can't count Elder Signs as successes, which makes me want to trade this over to the Kid. One, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 more wounds on Cthulhu, and I think action 3, I will act on that thought. Trade the Browning over to the Kid, since she's next going to be leveling up her Arcane Mastery to get the Elder Signs to count as 2 successes. So that was action 3 for Fleur. Now we need a Mythos card. We find Rise of the Undead. This is actually basically a blank right now. Take the nearest cultist body and stand it back up. If there are no bodies on the board, summon a ghoul at the nearest unclaimed tome instead. Which the nearest unclaimed tome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The nearest ghoul is actually down toward the bottom of the board. I'm actually down here off shot with the Chthonian. We'll put the ghoul there. That's no space. That's no symbol. We get a discovery card. So Fleur will discover the Mastermind. You know, Horace Wallace was said to have trafficked with the devil. You may claim either the grave robber or the pocket knife. Julia the grave robber, while you have her, gain 1 level in stealth, 1 wound to kill. Or the pocket knife, when attacking, gain a green die if you have the brawling skill. That's going to need to get over to Tina, which we will claim that. Now, would I have to initiate a trade with all investigators? Okay, that is important to know. So I can 1 trade action to get the brawling stuff over to Tina. But before we get into that, let's move back up top to look at the board once again for round 6, I believe. It's getting to be about time to start kamikazing kamikazing into Cthulhu's space. The first attack we make is actually going to advance Cthulhu into his next stage, but we are definitely running out of time. We've got 2 symbols up there, and 1 more advance loses us the game, so I think we're going to have to get moving. But we'll drop down to Tina's turn and see what she's doing. Tina will start off with a trade action. So she'll take the pocket knife from Fleur and Diedrich from the Kid, which will give her another level in Brawling, which will give her, when you attack, you may target any number of figures in your space and split the damage. Let's see, Cthulhu needs 3 more wounds to advance. I can't do, no, 2 more wounds, because he's at 10 right now. Action 2 will move in. Then action 3 will attack. Bring the dice tower into shot. I'm hoping I'm not just going to get her rocked, but again, I think the time has come to just kamikaze into Cthulhu. So 3 green dice, 1 for a sanity threshold, 1 for brawling, 1 for the pocket knife. And given that I only need 2 wounds, I'm not going to bother with Femme Fatale. Let's see what happens here. That worked with a sanity, so we can advance Tina on the track, and then we've defeated Cthulhu Stage 2. So this will stay active as well, but now Stage 3... also needs 12 wounds, adds a green die to the attack. When revealed, move Cthulhu to the blue gate. Each investigator in a relay space takes a wound and loses a sanity, so that's everybody. Alright, so we'll get that out of the way. We'll move Cthulhu to the blue gate, which could be a problem because now we've got to run a gauntlet of cultists to get there. Alright, each investigator in a relay space takes a wound and loses a sanity. So we'll deal with that in player order. Tina takes a wound, loses a sanity. Fatima takes a wound, loses a sanity. The Kid takes a wound, loses a sanity. Fleur takes a wound, loses a sanity. What else did we have to deal with there? At the end of each turn, each investigator loses a sanity. Oh, that's bad. Right, so now we get the Mythos card, so we find... a ghoul. Move the nearest ghoul 2 spaces toward you, which is 1, 2. If you have the terrified condition and Tina does not, we summon a ghoul. We move it directly to our space. We summon a ghoul on red. And then Tina's safe, so she'll get a discovery. She will find the Shrine of Bones. Animal bones surrounded by incense and dried flowers. You may take 2 stress to claim the incense. If you don't, claim the terrified condition, and Tina can. You may discard this card before you are attacked. 1 monster or cultist in your space does not attack this turn. We will take that, but we are definitely up against the wall here. So, right, so we have 1 space. So we advance Cthulhu because we have the symbols. When we advance, so at the end of each turn, each investigator loses. We'll deal with the advance first. I think technically we deal with the Elder One end of turn effects are last anyway, so that's a relief. Okay. So we do advance that. Apply the Elder One and episode card adventures. We summon a cultist at each with an unclaimed tome. We'll put that down here with the Chthonian. Let's see. Episode and Elder One. Put a relay space. Summon a cultist on... It's on the board. Summon the cultist or the star spawn on blue. This would have been where the grenade would have been really handy. But the most dangerous part is the Sleeper Awakens is now just a you lose the game card because we have all the relay tokens out on the board. They're all adjacent. So if we flip that, we advance to the end and just lose the game essentially on the spot. Well, it's not quite on the spot, but it would be at the end of the turn when we go to advance. So basically we have until we draw that card or 3 symbols to go defeat 2 more stages of Cthulhu, which I don't think we're doing. So end of the turn, each investigator loses a sanity. So Tina loses a sanity. Short-term memory loss. She's at full stress, so she heals all of her stress and discards a discovery of her choice. It will be the Strange Ring, because we're probably not attacking the Chthonian. I thought we would end up doing more than that. She will level up her sneak, because I think that's the only way we're getting anybody with a decent attack to Cthulhu. But again, that's likely a kamikaze attack. Fatima hits hers as well. She's already catatonic. We'll level up Read the Omen so I can try to bury the symbols as best I can. Kid hits one and levels up. She will level up her marksman, so we do have an option there, but we're going to level up her arcane mastery because we're going to have to kill Cthulhu hella quick. So we're going to need all the damage we can find and then some. And I haven't been paying attention to Fatima's masochism, so she takes a wound and puts another one on the card. Then she'll level up her... what do I want to level up? We'll level up her stealth, because again, we're going to have to do a lot of free damage here if we can help it. So, moving over to Fatima's turn, she'll take a stress to stand up. Then do we just kamikaze at this point? I think we do. Question is, can we get her to Cthulhu? 1, 2, 3, 4. She's gonna have a lot of stuff on her, but I don't think I can avoid that. So, action 1, she'll rest. The only way she's surviving this is in my dreams. But I think the gamble is probably going to be worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, because of swiftness, everything will follow her. So she's going to have quite the party. Then action 3, we'll tip the camera down slightly. And we're seeing why I kind of am hesitant around CMON games. CMON, like Pandemic, is another one of those series for me that's a lot more about the theme than anything. I don't mind the Massive Darkness system, and of course Cthulhu Death May Die and the mythos is very welcome. I didn't like Zombicide too much, though, just because the theme there was another problem. So, Fatima's attacking Cthulhu, so we get 3 black dice, and we have 1, 2, 3 green dice for sanity thresholds. I think Arcane Mastery is our only hope with being able to count any number of Elder Signs as 2 successes. Let's see, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. So, do I want to try to take Cthulhu? Do I want to try to take this stage out in one shot? It's probably the only way I have a chance here. So yeah, I think we just need to... I think she's going to have to bite the bullet and try to get some more Elder Signs so we can take this stage out in one shot. So we'll re-roll the... Let's see, it was rest, move, attack. Okay. So So this is about doing as much damage as we can to try to make it easier for the others. There's another success. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. Do I get greedy with this? I almost think I have to get greedy. Because if I don't get greedy here, then I really don't stand a chance of taking... Fatima's not gonna survive this round, so I think I have to do as much damage here as I can. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 11. That's 11 successes. The question is, like I said, I think we're just going to spend stress to try to get as many successes as we can. I will roll this die. I'll roll the green die. That was... Wait, that's a bad one to re-roll, because that was actually on that, no. 1, 2... I had 1, 2... Oh, I know what I'm rolling. It was on that. It was on just a 1 success. This is where, like I said, I need to get greedy here. Let's see. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, that will work. So we defeat stage 3, which means this is it for Cthulhu. So when we reveal this... Alright. When revealed, move Cthulhu to the starting space. Each investigator must discard all item and companion cards. They may take 1 wound for each card they wish to keep. If you reveal or need to place a relay token on the board but can't, each investigator loses 2 sanity. So Cthulhu is moving here. Let's see. And then each investigator must discard all item and companion cards. So Fatima loses the Bible. Not that she's surviving the round anyway. The kid is going to discard the burial mask and take a wound to keep the browning, because that's going to be part of our plan. Fleur will discard the old locket, and then Tina's the one with our biggest problem. Let's see, Tina will discard the incense. The shotgun wasn't as useful as I thought it would be. I do want to keep the pocket knife. We'll take 2 wounds to keep the... We'll take 2 wounds to keep the Chris dagger and the pocket knife. Alright, so Cthulhu's back to the starting space, which means we basically have this turn to... Actually, you know what? I might be able to stack this in a way that I can keep Fatima can survive. So we moved Cthulhu off already. Okay, so Mythos time. Right, so we just advanced Cthulhu. Mythos time, so we're going to draw 2 cards from the deck. Right. Okay, so we're drawing 2 cards from the deck, and we get to heal all of our stress. So our first card, Sewer Gases, which we saw earlier, and the Dead Walk. Let's put the Dead Walk on the bottom, because I'd rather have fire right now, since the only person that's going to impact is Tina. So we place a fire token in the space, in this mess. Then we make a roll, gaining a green die if you have the swiftness skill, and Fatima does. Take a wound unless you roll 2 or more successes. So her roll consists of the 3 black dice, plus 3 green for sanity thresholds, plus another one because she has swiftness. So we need to roll 2 successes, and with the Arcane Mastery, I'm not too worried about this. Yeah, that is a lot more than 2 successes. In fact, one of those Elder Signs would have been 2 successes. Which also from Arcane Mastery lets her heal all of her stress. All right, so that's all done. Then we get attacked, since we are definitely not safe. I'm going to have the Star Spawn attack first, since the guaranteed sanity from that will hit her to a sanity threshold, and then that'll just stop the attacks because Catatonia will go off at that point. So as long as we don't take a wound, well, we can take up to 4 wounds there. So we'll take the 4, then the sanity, which will make her catatonic, and we'll level up her Read the Omens. We'll find the symbol there, and find the token. So now we actually have 3 turns, so unless we flip the Sleeper Awakens, so unless we fail to kill Cthulhu right now, and flip the Sleeper Awakens on the Mythos, we can probably pull this out. So we're going over to the kid next. She's going to have 2 attacks at this, and she's at full stress. So we're going to move her 1, 2. Then we have the Dice Tower. I'll move the Cultist off so I can get the Dice Tower and shot. Oh, and at the end of the turn, each investigator loses... If you need to place a relay token on the board but can't, each investigator loses 2 sanity. So that means Fatima's actually gone completely insane. So she's out of the game at this point. Let's see, 2 sanity. The kid hits her last sanity threshold, which is actually helpful. Take 1 stress for each wound you have. She has 3, so she goes up to 3. Then she levels up her marksman. I don't think this is really going to change too much other than giving her another green die. Alright, Fleur goes up to 2, hits 2 sanity as well, as does Tina. So I don't think this changes anything. I think we still go for it. So the kid moved for action 1. 2, she's going to attack, so she gets the 3 black dice, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 for sanity thresholds, plus 2 for marksman, plus 2 for the Browning with marksman. So we're going to have 2 attacks at this, and her Elder Signs count as 2 successes. What do we have in that mess? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to get to 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can't take the sanity, though, and she's gonna... Oh, great. She's gonna go insane any way we do this. So it's gonna probably fall on Tina to try to take out... Alright, we can spend a stress to reroll. If this doesn't... Okay, so we're gonna reroll this die. Actually, we're gonna roll a green die. So right now we have... I'm gonna pull these out. So 3, 5, 6... 7, 8, that was an exclamation mark, 9. If this green die isn't that face, the kid is going to go insane here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're actually 1 success short of taking Cthulhu out in 1 shot, but the kid has gone insane. So now we need to duck the... So we'll get the Dice Tower out of shot. The kid has gone completely insane, and I think the insanity... Does it just stop the turn and you go to the next one? Or... I gotta double check that. Death of an investigator. The game is immediately lost. Okay, if an investigator died, skip all of the following turn phases except for the check the Mythos discard pile. Okay, so we actually right now have only 1 card in the discard pile, no symbol relevant. So it looks like it's on Fleur to be the hero, to be the heroine of the story. So with that, we'll move 1, 2. and then she'll do something similar to, and she'll try her luck at attacking as well. So she's got so she's just using natural marksman. 3 black dice, plus 2 for sanity thresholds, plus 2 for marksman because we're not attacking into Cthulhu's space. And all we need is a single solitary success. Come on, Fleur, let's have this. That's a sanity, but we won't bother with that because we got more than enough successes to defeat Cthulhu, and we have won the game. So let's move back up top to wrap this video up. That was a war, but that is Cthulhu, death may die. We saved the world from Cthulhu, but it cost us 2 of our investigators in the process, so Tina and Fleur will be left somehow to pick up the pieces. As a reminder, the 300th video giveaway is still open. If you're a US-based subscriber and interested in getting a copy of Hornet Leader from Dan Verson Games, I'll be sending it over to you, but the DVG is who makes the game. Find the video detailing the giveaway, leave a like on the video, and comment with a game, recipe, or product you've tried because of one of my videos. I'll close the giveaway after Absolute War. The Russian Front 1941-45 goes up on the channel next Wednesday the 21st. So not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. After that, we'll showcase the comments, and then we'll draw for the winner. Anyway, let's wrap this video up. Today we are going to have a double upload day because Mystical Munchies is going to go up later this afternoon. Wednesday, we're playing Tank on Tank West Front, and next week we're continuing our background campaign for Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.